global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. You cannot remove the obedient movement from what is happening ahead of 2023 election. They have decided to prove to Nigerians they're a force to reckon with, and it has become so to speak, a problem for the opposition because they have decided to take over the media space, street, and it's really giving the opposition sleepless night. And some of them have decided to categorize the obedient movement, Peter Obi's followers, his supporters, both in Nigeria and in diaspora, in 3 different categories. And of course, the strong obedient supporters have decided also to counter. A whole lot of them are talking. Aisha Yusufu is talking. Charlie Boy is talking. Daddy Freeze is talking. Nigerians are talking about Peter Obi, and the good thing is that whether you like it or not, you cannot ignore Peter Obi and his supporters. Well, before we go into the news proper, kindly subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as you update our channel on YouTube. Let's start with the fact that Peter Obi have decided to challenge the federal government to begin to list out names of those who are doing the mayhem in Nigeria. We're going to list them all out. Then we'll look at what is happening in Peter Obi supporters team. Well, according to the news, the 2023 presidential flag bearer of the Labour Party, Mr. Peter Obi, has expressed sadness over the inability of the federal government to publicly name sponsors of terrorism and those stealing oil in Niger Delta. You could recall that the Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, Mele Kyari, on Tuesday alleged that high-placed Nigerians, including religious community leaders and government officials, were fully involved in crude oil theft. Now, wow. Reacting to the report, the former Anambra State Governor, in a tweet on his social media handle, wondered why federal government is unable to summon the political will to name the criminal element. Peter Obi wrote, and I quote him, "I am struck and intrigued by the news report linking highly placed Nigerians to oil theft. Same has been the case with financing insurgents and Boko Haram. When will federal government of Nigeria summon the political will to publicly name such persons? Let Nigerians begin to chew them, because we can't continue to recycle criminals and we expect us to be happy. How can Nigeria get better if every time we keep using the same people?" But let's find out. If Daddy Freeze has categorized the followers of Peter Obi into 3 categories. But the question is it only Peter Obi's followers that have that 3 categories? Well, according to the news, Peter Obi supporters can be classified, or has been classified, into 3 main groups. He said one is obedient, amazing guys who understand his philosophy and support him passionately. He called another that the freeze now talking. He called another one Zobedient. He said this was just the follow Obi cluelessly with their eyes closed, as the name suggests. And the third one is Obi supporters. They are the coagulation of touts, locking online and offline, ready to jump and come against anyone who doesn't support Obi. Which of those do you fall into? The truth of the matter is, whether they're into 3 categories or not, all political parties have these 3 categories full. In the days of Buhari, the APC, Muhammad Buhari in 2015, we had those who, if you just say "pem," they will come against you, they will come against your entire family. I think it's part of the whole thing, it's the whole package. It's politics everywhere, especially in Nigeria. Until we clean off this set of shameless politicking, we hope to sanitize our politics. We're gentlemen. We come in freely and without getting scared of their life, of the life of their family members, so that genuine women in Nigerians will take up positions that will turn around Nigeria. But let's start with Peter Obi. Okay, but of course, Charlie Boy have also decided to reply some of them credited to Obi's followers. Then this is what Charlie Boy has got to say. Well, according to the news, Charlie Boy put out the entertainer and activist who is popularly known as Charlie Boy, has talked about the supporters of Peter Obi, known as Obedient. He said that supporters of the All Progressive Congress APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the People's Democratic Party PDP flag bearer Atiku Abubakar are more violent than Obedient. Obedient, who are supporters of the Labour Party candidate Peter Obi, have been severally accused of attacking those against the presidential ambition of the former Anambra governor. But in his recent social media handle he posted, Charlie Boy said supporters of APC and PDP candidates are much more violent than the Obedient. He alleged that Obi supporters have been infiltrated by haters disguised as Obedient, attacking his rivals on social media. I believe you, sir. When he now went further, he wrote this and I quote him, said, "Dear Peter, I know you're a gentleman and really have no time for bullshit. Those that are your supporters are better behaved than APC or PDP supporters. Stop apologizing for the misbehaviors of those unknown supporters who could just be your haters trying to start a beef." Charlie Boy have never been more correct, as in this is exactly what is playing out. Okay, so we need to be more sensitive. Nigerians should begin to understand the difference between dirty politics and the reality on ground. What that the Freeze want to say, they have three categories of supporters of Peter Obi. I think that same three categories also applies to PDP, APC, and other parties. But it's even worse for APC in the sense that I don't even know how they're going to package that product. With due respect to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, he's a great guy, but the truth is he's an old man. Okay, it's not rocket science. This is lives of about 200 million Nigerians at stake, the future of the country as a whole. And just fairly recently, Okowa was actually tackling Shetima, saying that how can the vice president of Nigeria be the one in charge of the security situation in the country, judging the fact that a lot of Nigerians believe that this whole issue of insurgents and this whole issue of insecurity has been so high in Borno, where he was the former governor. And there have been a lot of allegations against him, though no one has been able to prove it true or false, but there have been a lot of allegations against him over his friendship with some of these insurgents and all that. That's not been fully acknowledged. Okay, it has not even been acknowledged yet, but a lot of Nigerians are saying that. And now he's the one in charge of insecurity if he eventually becomes the president. So a lot of people are getting concerned. Now, with all this going on, now you can now understand that this whole issue of three categories into one, we have a lot of them in all parties. But the truth of the matter is, whether Peter Obi likes it or not, he needs everyone, every category of these people to make it happen. Because when it will come, there will be a time when this doubt thing will take a different dimension. That is where some of those his followers may count. It's Nigerian politics. It has really not changed. Maybe with time it will metamorphose, but right now we are still where we are right now. That's going to wrap it up. Let's put in our conversation. What's to take? Have a nice time. God bless you.